This hasn't been an easy road for me to get where I am today. Even though I had made so many terrible decisions, I was able to find light. So after I had justice, and I had been living on TANF, and so I went down to the DSHS office and asked for help, begged for help. And they set me up with the Career Path Services program. And so I started volunteering, basically at Habitat for Humanity, and I was broken. They just really gave me that faith, that hope, everything that I hadn't had for so long. I wanted to make a difference in other people's lives. I wanted to be an example for other moms out there. I started as a donation attendant at Goodwill. A few months later, they called me back and I started as the Career Pathways Coordinator here. The grant was only for a year and I was laid off and I was devastated. And a position opened at Goodwill headquarters again. I started that job out at $18 an hour. However, in starting that job, what happened was I had to find childcare and I started the phone calls. "49 calls later, there was 0 openings for 2 kids. My hopes started to be lost again, and so I started the list again. And about 9 phone calls into that list, I found one childcare where I could get Kennedy into. I finally found one other daycare that could get Mason in. They were at daycares on complete opposite sides of town, so the morning routine was nuts. My childcare subsidy for the first 3 months was $15. So 3 months went by and then the childcare subsidy jumped up to $310 a month. I was promoted 6 months later. My wage went up $2 an hour. So at that time, my childcare subsidy went up to $477 a month. 6 months later, I was promoted again to the community engagement manager, which is the position I have now. And that came with another $3 an hour raise. Of course, in that time, I lost my food benefits, lost WIC benefits, lost my own medical insurance. So the children are still on Medicaid, and I still have childcare subsidies. When the childcare subsidy ends in April, and that payment goes from $477 to $1,600 a month, I really will have to reassess and figure out if it's just better for my family if I just stay home. There's no gradual increase in the childcare subsidy. I mean, it's clearly the cliff effect. There is no incentive to work harder, get farther. It doesn't work like that anymore. It wasn't just me. There's an entire community out here affected by this. So I started to advocate with Children's Alliance in Olympia. We need to put more money into childcare subsidy, raise the poverty level, and we need more options for childcare. This is the only way families can become self-sufficient. The decision of waiting until your children are of school age to work is no longer an option. And I think when I'm able to really paint that clear picture, like, hey, I'm doing everything I can. I'm working 60 hours a week to support my family, but here's what's happening.
When I factor in health insurance, car payment, rent, utilities, food, and all the other monthly expenses, I often seek monetary assistance from my parents. I also know, again, my story is anything but unique. I'm the lucky one. I have a family and a partner to help support my efforts to get ahead, and I still struggle. Many of the families I serve do not have this luxury. We need to raise our voices and tell our stories.
If I could wave a wand, I would say that childcare would be something that we provide for our children. United Way is giving us a voice. I think it's giving us a possibility. I don't want to stop. I didn't have a chance. I was that person who was pregnant on the streets, willing to do whatever I had to do to survive. Look at me now. I've come a long way.